the cold intro because I got nothing. This is just shit. 80, like an M80, or how old Mags is.
Rude.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Should I actually do even a real intro, or are people just going to assume that this is garbage and just roll with it?
Well, just stop. Me and Matt have already been talking before this started, and we feel that because we have been guests so many times that we're actually like part of the show almost. So we have no faith in you, Ryan, in running the Blade job anymore. So we're kind of like staging an intervention,
like a coup.
A coup. What a perfect word.
Cool. Awesome. So we're going to send the audio over to you. Need you to do all the editing, add in all of the cool shit. Get that up to the YouTube. Get that out to the podcasting apps. I'm going to need you to step it up a little bit.
Well, I didn't think that far ahead.
Mag didn't think it through.
Basically, it's called the Brexit show from now on.
Oh, please, no. Please, God, no.
So for anyone joining us for this shit show of an episode, I couldn't even make it a minute without swearing. We are joined today by Darren Kirkby himself.
Hello.
Matt Willis.
Buongiorno.
And somehow, just because she wouldn't go away...
Brilliant.
Do you want to be called the bitch witch? I don't know.
Currently I'm the Tomrig witch, but bitch witch works too.
Well,
if you want me to go, I'll go. I just happen to be here trying to help the two old men figure out how Discord works.
To be fair, it's 3 old men at this point.
Objection, I'm not 35 yet. That's Tuesday.
You're all old to me.
It's true. She's a baby. Melissa, introduce yourself to the people. You're new here.
I'm new here, but I'm one of the 7. That always tickles me pink. I don't know. I'm Melissa. I watch wrestling, and I have opinions on things, and usually I'm pretty vehement about
That sounds about right.
I don't like that. I'm the only one who's not a part of the 7.
You are part of the 7.
Am I?
We've discussed this plenty of times.
Not in my presence, you haven't.
You have the ability to go back through the Discord chat. Whether you use it is your problem.
I have a life, besides podcasting, chefing, and dating my boyfriend.
A life is no excuse, sir. We still require you to keep up with current events.
I appreciate the sir side of things. Ryan, you've lost control of your show already, mate. This is no professional, mate. Maybe we should be taking.
This is fantastic. I'm just gonna say random wrestlers' names and then listen to you argue about it, and it's gonna be brilliant. This is I've got a concept show planned with Mr. Bagshaw of the MGB podcast, and I think this might be a better concept of how much I can make people fight over stupid shit.
Objection, Your Honor. What podcast is this, Graham? I'm learning something here. I don't know.
Matt's green-eyed devil is coming out.
Excuse me?
I have no. It's not a podcast. It's just an episode. It's not a new show. It's just something that Graham has a specific area of expertise in. And no, it's not going to be a maths-based program.
That will be American cricket then.
American has cricket?
Baseball.
I think they're both boring, but I don't see the similarities other than there's a ball and a wooden stick.
I was taking the piss.
Isn't that drinking or something? I don't really understand your British...
No, I was taking the piss, making a joke, all those sort of things. God almighty, how asleep are you, Ryan? Trash can, wake him up, please.
There's the trash can, just like the trash content.
My favorite trash can.
There we go. Hold on. I'm taking control. I'm taking control. What did everyone think of SummerSlam?
God, it was shit.
Really? Let's hear from someone who isn't just going to say it's shit.
I enjoyed it,
Okay,
actually.
so I have an opinion.
Ladies first.
Yeah, yes.
Basically, my problem with SummerSlam is that a lot of it was really reminiscent of other pay-per-views with Brock Lesnar in the final match. And I have a problem, and I understand that WWE hasn't really put forth a lot of effort into the women's tag team titles, so I understand why it was a pre-show title match. But for all the talk of a women's revolution, you would think that optimistically, you would think that they would put forth more of an effort. And I understand that Alexa Bliss is still very much working through her concussion. But I don't know, it kind of disappointed me to see the women's tag team match as a pre-show match. I feel like it should have at least been in the main show.
I agree with you 100%. I don't think any championships should be defended during the pre-show. The pre-show should be your opener matches. They should just be, they're just to whet your appetite. They're just to get the crowd going. That's what your pre-show should be. But they had 2 title matches on the pre-show, and I don't know how many times they've had the tag team titles. The tag team titles, like, we're not talking a title that's 6 months old. We're talking titles that have been around for 20 years, and they're defending them on the pre-show. I think that's absolutely stupid. They finally did a pay-per-view that wasn't 8.5 hours long, and somehow they still couldn't book it in a logical sense, because this is SummerSlam. This is the show that we've seen, TLC born at. This is the show that we've seen, just these brutal matches and these end of feud matches. And what we got was, a lazy submission match was the only gimmick match. And 2 titles couldn't even be bothered to be booked onto the main show. But for some reason, we got... And is anyone surprised that there was no Roman Reigns whatsoever?
Actually, no, I'm not.
Paul Tully,
and maybe it's just... Was he? I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, I still know that his health is still very much... He's in the remission stage of his care, so not seeing him as much doesn't surprise.
Well, what I was curious about is they're doing this whole storyline with who attacked Roman Reigns, and they didn't even have him doing like a backstage thing. They didn't have him, searching. They didn't have. I just felt really weird when Lesnar and Rollins went on at 10 o'clock Eastern time, Cowboy time, as Mags likes to call it. That I expected full well that after that match there was going to be a bit with Roman where they were going to reveal who the attacker was, because that was super early for them. And I'm not complaining. I think pay-per-views, if you're starting at 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock, you should be ending at 10:30. There's no excuse to going till midnight.
As someone who was at WrestleMania past midnight, it was half past midnight when we actually saw the end of the final match. I'm very grateful to a earlier finish at SummerSlam, trust me.
I think it took us like 2 days to fully watch WrestleMania, because we watched it from the pre-show up until we went to bed, because I think because we had kids, it's not happening.
It felt like 2 days while I was there. It felt like 2 days.
It's a very weird thing to have too long of a wrestling show. Like, I've been to Beyond shows that have gone close to 6 hours where you're standing the entire time, and not felt like nearly as long as a 5-hour long WWE pay-per-view. A, because most of those shows started at like 2, 3 in the afternoon. B, because, there was actual wrestling happening and not just, backstage promos or looking at Michael Cole saying some nonsense.
Or Corey Graves.
Corey Graves, I just have this love-hate relationship with him. Like, he's not bad at what he does, but he just doesn't... I think he's trying too hard to be the King in the 90s, and he just can't be... Like, the King's whole bit was just over-the-top sexism. And
Corey Graves is the biggest waste of space and oxygen on that commentary team, with the possible exception of Byron Saxton.
And the thing is, I hated him at first. I love Tom Phillips. I think Tom Phillips is absolutely brilliant at his job.
Does a great job, absolutely. My biggest problem is that Corey Graves doesn't do his research. When he does do his research, he does it fucking wrong.
I do like how he gets Renee Young to corpse all the time, though.
Not so sure about that sometimes.
Renee has come so far in her short career, because at the beginning she was not good at all. Same thing with Beth Phoenix. Beth Phoenix was not good when she started. Now that she's been on NXT weekly, she's just come leaps and bounds to where she was. You know, at first she would just repeat whatever Nigel was saying, but now she's coming up with kind of her own thoughts and her own insights being a professional wrestler. Which, by the way, did anyone notice the factoid that came across that Beth Phoenix is a Hall of Famer, multi-time champion, and she's younger than Shayna Baszler?
I did notice that, and I actually chuckled a little bit because that woman has aged like a fine wine, and I don't know how she...
Her and Edge, they both look fantastic.
I thought Edge looked really, really tired.
Well, I mean,
Edge is really, really tired.
Yeah, how many kids does he have? 2 or 3?
Two girls, and he mountain bikes every day.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's allowed to be tired. You know, I mean, I think I don't remember who I was talking to about, but I was a big Edge and Christian fan, but I was always more of a Christian fan than Edge. Not that I have an issue with Edge.
You talked to me last week about it.
Yeah, I love Christian. I just think he's absolutely brilliant, and he doesn't get the respect he deserves in that company. And I think the best thing he did for his career was go to TNA, where they used him as a main eventer. Just because that's where he deserved to be.
2-time NWA champion.
Yeah, and you can argue what the championship in wrestling is. The NWA World Heavyweight Championship had a bad couple of years, but that, to me, will always be like the classic title in wrestling. And
if I may use an analogy here, which you won't get, Ryan.
An analogy, yes.
Mags will get this analogy, though. Winning the NWA Championship, okay? NWA Championship is like an English Premier League footballer winning the competing for the Premier League and then going and winning the MLS title. It's meaningless.
That's brutal.
That really is brutal, because we wouldn't have 90% of the legends we do if it weren't for that title. Now, I don't like that analogy because the MLS is newer, as far as I know, than the Premier League.
Okay. Let me rephrase then. It would be like winning the Scottish Premier League, because only two teams ever in it, and one team usually, and that one team who wins it usually by about 30 points clear. It's completely pointless now, because the NWA, where can I watch it? Where can I, as an
for now,
watch
it? Allegedly, they're coming back. They're going to start doing the weird thing is where the NWA was a governing body. It wasn't a promotion. And I think that the growing pains of the death of the territories, the NWA has just struggled to find. Their partnership with TNA was kind of brought them back into the limelight, but now they're just kind of sitting there going, well, what do we do now? TNA has their own title. WWE has their own title. AEW has their own title. Ring of Honor has their own title, where these promotions had their own championships. But all that title meant was you would hopefully get a shot at the NWA World Heavyweight Championship.
This is a perfect segue, Ryan. Thank you very much, because it's something I wanted to talk about. The NWA is owed a great deal by a certain gentleman by the name of Cody Rhodes.
Since when?
Can we not talk about Cody Rhodes?
Yeah, Cody sucks ass.
Cody Rhodes owes the NWA everything, because when he left WWE, wasn't the NWA, he would have been nobody. And to be fair, he still is a nobody in my opinion. But anyway.
Well, hold on. I don't think that's true. I don't think Cody has any ownership.
It's my opinion, and my opinion counts in this one. So,
but I think
he owes the NWA for letting him run with that.
Oh, owes. Okay, I thought you said owns. I was like, it's fucking Billy Corgan.
Owes it. OWE.
Oh.
I think that at the base level of it all, it's NWA had a huge faction of it, but he really owes any success he has to his last name. And that, first and foremost, is the only reason why he has a wrestling career. If he was not Dusty's son, he would not be here for us to bitch about. So
He's-
at the point of it all,
He's
that
the
point,
worst
that's it. Like,
biological
you're just a dad.
Rhodes. At the end of the day, if you look at the Rhodes family, Dusty, legend. Goldust, legend. Cody, waste of space. Brandy, piece of shit.
But to play devil's advocate here for a second and to steal,
copyright infringement.
As mediocre a wrestler as Cody Rhodes is, he's had the ability to finesse his way into the hottest group in wrestling and has managed to finagle that into a wrestling company. So as much as he's never going to live up to his dad's standards in wrestling, he has managed to like carve his own path, but by using the popularity of the elite.
Oh no, and trust me, you know, I don't discount that in any way, but the weakest part of AEW is the Rhodes, and I don't mean Dustin. It's Cody and Brandy.
And the problem here, and I touched on this with my on Good Cop Bad Cop this week. My worst cop moment is the fact that Orange Cassidy has signed for AEW. Graham's best cop moment was that he has signed for AEW because he thinks he's going to be fantastic, and I think that Cody has signed him for popularity and is going to get rid of the popularity because he's going to be more popular than Cody Rhodes.
I wouldn't
My
doubt
thing about
that.
Cody.
Someone fucking
Sorry.
party fouled.
It genuinely offends me. It genuinely offends me that he signed Orange Cassidy. Not because Orange didn't deserve it. He absolutely deserves a run in a big company. But AEW have proven they don't know how to book shit.
My issue with Cody is, and it's funny because there's another famous child that we can sit here and draw direct comparisons to. The reason why, again, Cody was able to finagle his way to this larger position was because of his last name, because everyone wanted the one Rhodes that wasn't in WWE anymore. He's a good businessman for now. He is the epitome of what people don't want, of what people think Charlotte is. Where they think like she only got where she was because she's Ric Flair's daughter. She's a good worker. She's an outstanding wrestler. But Cody Rhodes is what people think Charlotte is. And
as good as Charlotte is, though, Melissa, do you think that she would have got even got a tryout in the NXT Academy if there hadn't been the fact that she is Richard Flair's son? A daughter, even, sorry.
So...
Did you just call Charlotte a dude?
I called her way worse. Go on.
But I don't know. Part of me says yes, but that part of me says yes because she's blonde. She had
never stepped foot. She had never had any training until she started at NXT.
That's not true.
No. These are words coming out of her mouth in an interview she did before NXT Blackpool this year.
She also has been very clear that the reason she became a professional wrestler was to honor her brother, because that was his dream. And I mean, there's a lot of I mean, I'm not a huge Charlotte Flair fan. I like her. I think her in-ring talent is one of the top in the company, but I have a weird issue with her, especially because I remember the first time seeing her on NXT going, man, she's hot, but she looks like Ric Flair, and that gives me a lot of weird feelings.
You never saw Ric Flair do a handstand on the way to the ring?
I watched WCW religiously. I've seen Ric Flair's ass more times than I want to admit, and it's just I just picturing him as a woman scares me, and
you guys had a problem with me calling Charlotte Flair a dude?
Look, I'm just saying she looks like her dad. That's you know, Ric Flair, you go back to his day, he was a handsome motherfucker, you know, and
No, he wasn't.
No, he wasn't.
Oh,
Trust
he
me,
was.
you know the
That
power.
Farrah Fawcett hair. Just fucking, you got to
wasn't-
think that attractive people in the 70s were different than attractive people today. You
I'm
know,
not
it's like
having a
the
straight
fucking
guy
you
telling
had
me
the
what
weird
a
like
stupid
triangle
was.
bras. It was weird. I don't know what was going on.
I don't think that was ever really attractive.
He's got teeth like a broken garden fence.
Okay, so do I. Easy kill.
Oh, your teeth are fine.
I have 2 children. That is not true.
You have 2 children, and that is. No, I can't say that last sentence. Right.
Okay.
Move on, shall we?
Okay.
All right, the Charlotte Triss match.
Okay.
I enjoyed it.
Yep.
I thought it was
great match.
acceptable, but if it, I think that Trish showed enough ring rust where if it weren't for Charlotte, that match would have not been as good.
Maybe so. I mean, she hadn't had a match since WrestleMania 27.
No, she wrestled. Didn't she wrestle with
Yeah.
Lita at Evolution or something?
Yeah.
Did they do a tag match?
Yes. How did I forget that? I enjoyed that match. How did I forget that?
Which, by the way,
know.
where's Evolution 2? Like, really? Like, I want another Evolution.
Apparently, it is being discussed.
Stop
It's a bit
fucking
late
discussing
now.
it. Tell Vince to
It's a
take
word
his
off the
sexist
street.
ass and go somewhere and let Triple H and fucking Stephanie, yeah, I'm giving Stephanie some credit, run a fucking women's pay-per-view. That was one of the better pay-per-views of last year.
I thought about the background noise.
You know, it's
You watch the way WWE works sometimes. They'll cancel the entire Royal Rumble and make that Evolution 2.
Did you say cancel the Royal Rumble?
Would you put it past Vince to shake things up that badly?
well, but why cancel the Rumble when you can cancel something like completely, utterly useless like Backlash?
Stomping ground.
I quite like the
The only-
stomping ground name.
The only thing that Vince should be shaking up is his fucking ex-life.
No, as in the Royal Rumble would be a women's only event, and
No
the
deal.
Royal
No deal.
Rumble. I'm not saying it should happen, but at the same time, Paul Tully, I'm giving you credit for this one, Paul. He actually said on Juice Belt Notice Cooking, two Royal Rumbles in one Royal Rumble is too many Rumbles.
I don't disagree with that. I appreciate the Women's Rumble because I think it's long overdue, and is considering there's 2 women's championships, it's definitely needed at this point. However, I agree where each Rumble match is roughly an hour long. That's a very long pay-per-view. There's a lot going on.
It's not only that, but it's the fact of in the match itself. There's only so many spots you can do. You can't do 60 different spots between the two rumbles. It's not possible.
You can only have the American Ninja Warrior do so many flippy things to fucking show off the fact that she's fucking Ricochet.
She's just the Kofi of the Women's Rumble. You know, she's there to, you know, do, and honestly, like it's the Royal Rumble itself was always exciting because it's one of those matches where you never know who could show up and you never know who could win most of the time. You know, and there was an excitement.
That's the problem with this year's Royal Rumble, though. That was the massive problem with it. Is that with the exception of Jeff Jarrett entering number 2, there was no female legends in the Women's Rumble at all. Everyone was under contract, no surprises at all. Although arguably Becky Lynch entering was a surprise, but you could argue that one.
No, everybody knew it was happening.
Yeah, but so you could argue that one. Didn't say you'd argue it well. You could argue it. And Nia Jax entering the Men's Rumble, that was a surprise. I give you. I didn't expect that to happen. Maybe so, but it was a surprise. But it was the only thing. The only thing I found surprising is that they didn't put someone over like Pete Dunne, because I think Pete Dunne winning that would have been fantastic. Coming from nowhere for NXT UK to win the Royal Rumble, go WrestleMania to face Brock Lesnar. Wouldn't that have been amazing?
There's an easy solution for the Royal Rumble problem: alternate years.
That's not a bad idea.
I think the biggest issue right now is just there's too many title belts in general, and the Royal Rumble is a necessity because you have to have, it's an institution, and you get that title match at WrestleMania, but then they have to do another match to, do the opposite titles match at WrestleMania, and then you have to do one for the woman, and then you have to do the other women's title, and there's too many number one contender style matches, and we've lost the art of the number one contender because no one can ever be number one contender because there's always a match that determines that. There's always something big that says, oh yeah, you get your match at this show, whereas you can't have that tonight on Raw, it's blank versus blank and the winner faces, the winner is number one contender. You very rarely get those matches anymore, and if you do, it's just the usual holding Kofi down so he gets his title shot, or Seth Rollins coming back from being injured and now he's going to get his title shot. It's just very repetitive. It's the same thing. We don't have these triple threat matches where or elimination matches where the person you expected to win gets eliminated and they're like, holy shit, who's going to be number one contender now? They don't know how to let go of storylines. They don't know how to let go of feuds. They just want to keep using them because it worked once. You might as well keep going with it. We were begging for Shinsuke versus AJ, and they just buried it into the ground. And they ruined what should have been one of the best feuds in WWE.
They did, but they did the same thing with Daniel Bryan and AJ as well. They did it, giving us nothing but that for the next 2 months.
I agree. No, I agree with you 100%. I'm saying they do this all the time. I'm actually really happy that Sasha is back because they're actually, there's at least another main eventer within that scene right now. So it's not just Charlotte Becky, Charlotte Bayley, Natty, there's something different, even though it's Sasha, she's been in the main event picture 100 times since she hasn't been around in 6 months. It's like, oh shit, there's a different person there. That's amazing.
I'm super impressed that she got a stadium full of predominantly straight men to gasp at a wig reveal. That's impressive.
and I thought I didn't watch Raw per se, but I thought her heel turn was brilliantly done because she did things that normally when you're going to heel turn you don't do. She was hugging kids, she was being all bubbly and happy, and then it was kind of boom out of nowhere, and those kids were probably mortified, and that's the way it should be.
I have one problem with this.
What's your problem?
And this, where do you want to start with that one? But I've got the problem I've got with this is when I went, because obviously in the UK where me and Mags are, it's late at night when Raw is done. So I watched mine the next morning. I usually watch the Raw highlight, the Raw clips on YouTube, and then I'll go back and watch it properly afterwards. Problem is when I did that, it literally said it tells you, for example, match between Daniel Bryan versus Ricochet, for example. It said Sasha Banks returns and attacked Natalya. I'm like, you just spoiled the entire video. What's the point of watching it?
Yeah. Well, WWE does that in general.
What's the point of watching the video if you're going to put that on there?
So not to spoil anything for anyone who isn't aware, but WWE posted about spoilers from the NXT tapings. This shit hasn't even aired yet, and they've already spoiled it.
Yeah, you mentioned this last year when I came on there about NXT.
I remember 2, 3, 4 years ago. I don't know how long it was. I used to have the WWE app on my phone, which I don't anymore for this exact reason. I got a notification during Raw telling me that the New Age Outsiders.
1 second, Raw. I've got a waitress in my hand.
Waitress, love it.
I'll take a berry cooler. Huh? Berry cooler, how much? I'll pay for it.
£5.
Yeah.
£5.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Can I have £5? Can I have a berry cooler?
I'm placing my order. Sorry.
But so they spoiled on the app. I received a push notification that the New Age Outlaws had won the tag titles, and I was mortified that you don't even understand, especially in this current culture of people who don't watch things live.
I'm now getting someone actually tell me, actually looking at his watch, Chris, I will do your editing when I finish doing this podcast.
Listen, no need for a lover's tiff. It's only a podcast.
I said I will do it. Okay, God, get back to work. So am I.
This is the most professional show we've ever done.
You know what's wild to me is that I'm usually the most unprofessional person, and I'm the most professional in this point.
I don't know.
Whoa! That was a negative I've ever heard. What?
I think I'm doing a pretty good job wrangling the cats here.
Well, other than you are the blade job. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking.
I
about
am. I'm the only person who shows up every week.
Trash
can. No, you've missed. Yeah, I'm the only constant.
I show up every week. I talk to myself even the microphone's not on.
I show up every week. Excuse you. I watch your YouTube video every week. Thank you very much.
That's true. It's true.
Is it bad that I'm listening to myself on your show more times than my own?
No, because I don't listen to my own show. People are like, oh, what'd you talk about? And I'm like, I don't fucking idea. Like, I have no idea what we like. I already don't remember what we talked about earlier. Because
how many times would I live tweet the Blade Job episodes and you'd be like, what are you talking about? And
I'm
like,
oh no,
fucking serious?
For sure. Like, I remember at the genesis of this show, Melissa was the first person to be like, hey, look what I'm listening to. And I was like, God damn it, someone's actually listening to my shit? Why? And then it just kind of spiraled out of there, and we went up to tens of viewers and listeners over 2 years. And that's just impressive. I'm just saying.
I try to pimp you guys out. I like I've said on Why We Watch. I like my kitchen table podcasts, and I especially like my trash can.
And there it is. I stand by my statement that.
So that's 2 fans for Trash Can. One is a witch who is a bitch, and one is a 5-year-old.
Yeah, that's cool.
Called Satsuma Cassidy.
I stand by my statement that, we are not Smart to Death. We're not Warren Hayes. We're not Good Cop, Bad Cop. We're not a podcast that talks about Why We Watch, Badlands, whatever the fuck. Yeah, you hate that. We're not a podcast that's like, today in wrestling, here's my predictions. And there's nothing wrong with those podcasts, because clearly those podcasts are far more successful. We're here to just say things, and I'm here to be, what I think is funny, because I really only out to entertain myself most of the time. And I think if more people understood, I think it's my branding at the end of the day, that it looks like it should be professional, but I should just have a big warning that says it's not. There's nothing professional about this. It's usually just Scott and I yelling at each other, or rest in peace us shitting on John, or double rest in peace, Tommy Collins.
I thought that I had lost control of my show on a Matt Attack for SummerSlam show. This is nothing compared to.
Okay, then let's steer this shit back right. Let's get back onto SummerSlam. What were some good things that people watched? I thought that The Fiend was outstanding.
Bray Wyatt's arguably the best, if not the second best thing in that entire company, NXT excluded.
So I can really appreciate the visual storytelling that they were doing, and I know that it's predominantly the wrestlers that do this visual storytelling. I can really appreciate from a visual effects side, Finn Balor wearing all white as like the angelic savior, and then you have the Fiend, this kind of hellish, devilish character. A match aside, the match was great, but you also have to appreciate the amount of just effort they put forth between Bray and Finn to just tell this story with their gear and all of that.
Little things, keeping Bray's theme song the same, but making it demonic and heavy metal was such a good decision.
Yeah. I will complain that his entrance was obnoxiously long.
Well, there's also his reveal, and the Wyatts in general have always had an overly long entrance, and I don't mind it because it builds to the mystique. Because I've always said since day one of the Wyatt family version of his character that if anyone could ever even attempt to take 10% of what the Undertaker did, it's Bray Wyatt. You know, like that supernatural, that evil, that dark character. Nobody else even comes close to being that polarizing character that Bray Wyatt does. And to think that we started with Husky Harris and now we have the Fiend, it's just he's reinvented himself in the best possible way, and he's one of the few people that since day one Vince doesn't give him a lot of shit, and Vince kind of lets him do his thing, and Vince doesn't do that with a lot of people.
Oh no, I entirely agree. My thing, like the long entrance was great. I just think like it was like maybe like 5 seconds too long. You know what I mean? Like there's a line of which it becomes.
No,
Yeah,
I can understand what you're saying.
I think a point that you touched on then, Ryan, about Vince giving Bray the slack. It's interesting that the arguably the best thing on the show was the part that Vince had the least amount of influence over. And I think if he did that with a lot more of the talent, we'd get a far better quality show instead of overproducing to the nth degree.
Oh no,
just give the talent bullet points and let them just run wild.
Best people on the mic in the company easily can be Bray Wyatt, Kevin Owens, and John Cena. And it's 3 people that Vince lets write their own promos. Who?
Paul Heyman.
Well, Paul Heyman's he's not a wrestler. I was talking about wrestling.
You didn't say he's the best on the mic.
Paul Heyman isn't the best on the mic. He is the greatest god among anything that professional wrestling has ever created.
No.
When it comes to talking,
he's really bad with maths and paying bills. But put that aside, and he can produce a good show.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that he can't produce a good show. I just don't think he's the best thing that ever happened to
the way I look at it is ECW performers were willing to work for him even though they knew they weren't getting paid, and that's how good he was at promoting a professional wrestling show.
Certainly. He's a great businessman and he's a great dude to work for, but as for like him being like the best thing in the no. I'd have to disagree with that.
Can we get back onto the subject of Finn Balor right now? Because I was...
I will always talk about Finn Balor, Matt. What would you like to say?
Well, his abs...
and his penis.
You
can say it on this show. You're allowed to say it on this show.
The white gear did a wonderful job with the penis, Mags. Yes, you're correct.
God almighty. Chris is going to listen back to this and go think, what the hell do you actually want stuff for? Oh, God. No. Finn Balor, I'm not talking about his abs or about his very ample package you can see
penis.
But winky.
But I had a point I was going with. Yeah.
What
Finn
the fuck's
Balor,
the point?
Finn Balor being squashed the way he was the right decision. And I actually said this on the Matt Attack. Did I not, Max? That this only
you
did that.
I don't even think he got that squashed though. I know
he didn't get as much energy for. He got a sling blade in. That was about it.
No, I know, but we all knew what was going to happen. Most people expected it to be over in a minute or less. I
love the 2 gloves. The 2 gloves were a genius idea, and the mandible claw being used to pin someone, not to have them out, but pin them.
Mm-hmm.
Genius, this is, as you say.
I really hope that this ends out as a final match of the night, The Fiend versus the Demon.
Oh, it's got
that is my so you can't say it's gonna. This is WWE.
No,
they can fuck up a diamond, okay?
I think it's the money match. It's definitely the money match. If you had any sense, that'd be a WrestleMania match, or at the least a Royal Rumble size match.
If I can do something that people don't like me doing, that's doing predicting, which is something I'm usually rubbish at, even though I've got my own show. Conrad Newton said that that Wyatt is going to win the Universal Championship and go on a reign of terror. I agree, he will. He will win the championship at some point before the Royal Rumble, and he'll go to WrestleMania as the champion. Banner will return at number 30 in the Rumble, win the Rumble, and it will be the Demon versus Wyatt at WrestleMania in the main event.
And the thing is that as much as I love Finn Balor, I want the Demon to lose.
What?
If you're gonna book Bray Wyatt as the Fiend and you're gonna book him as a monster, he needs to beat the Demon. I agree, because the Demon is unbeatable. Whenever Finn Balor becomes the Demon, he becomes, he gets a couple extra points on his stats, like everything just, that's the bit. And I'm okay with that. A lot of people seem to not like that, oh, it's the same guy, how is he better? It's wrestling, like, chill the fuck out. But I think that the Demon, if someone could beat the Demon, it would have to be The Undertaker 10 years ago or Bray Wyatt.
No, 100%.
I'm fine with the Fiend beating the Demon at WrestleMania, just so you know. I'm fine with that happening, because by that point, the Fiend would have beaten big names to have got the championship and retained the championship all the way to WrestleMania. Probably Lesnar, probably Rollins, probably Reigns. That'd be the big one to get over for.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, maybe even Cena at the Rumble. That'd be kind of cool in itself.
Like, here's, like, in my mind, like, the storyline of, like, Bray Wyatt, of, like, the Fiend beating the Demon. In my mind, because of, like, the hurt and heel gloves, in my mind, it's Bray Wyatt as the Fiend beating the Demon in an effort to, like, and maybe this is just me being super nerdy, but, like, the Fiend purifying Balor of the Demon. You know what I mean? Like, ending the Demon as a gimmick and having Finn Balor just be the like the purified Finn Balor, like in the white gear. You know what I'm saying?
Did anyone hear what I had a bad feeling about when he actually attacked Balor for the first time? When he came back at the Fiend?
What I just said?
No. My biggest fear was that he was going to beat Balor at SummerSlam, and Balor was going to end up as his psychic in the front house, and the Demon was going to be basically the Fiend's pet.
Well, that's kind of the storyline that they're using for WWE 2K20 with the pre-order bonus. The pre-order bonus is you play as, I think you play as Finn, and you have to fight through the Wyatts and to unleash the Demon, because Bray is trying to bring you into the family. Which I think, I actually, like, off topic, I really love what they're doing with these little, like, mini showcases they're going to be offering in the new game, because I think it's something they've desperately needed for a long time.
I'm aware I have a gaming podcast, and I produce another one. I haven't seen any of the trailers for 2K20 at all.
I think that they're finally not taking themselves super seriously. They're like, we've got our sim based in the universe mode, but they're offering these downloadable showcase modes that have actual stories from them. So the first one's Halloween themed. It's the pre-order bonus. You get the Fiend, you get Frankenstrowman, and you get a bunch of, like, Halloween themed wrestlers. And then there's an actual storyline where you have to infiltrate the Wyatt compound and fight through the Wyatt family and stuff.
Why do I now have this vision of a naughty but nice battle royale from, like, the 2010?
Oh, that was awesome.
Batgirl.
The gimmick battle royal. It was awesome.
Oh god.
I love all. No. At the end of the day, I've said it before. I'll say it again. I don't care how outlandish wrestling gets. That's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be insane. It's supposed to make no sense because it's fucking dudes and chicks in their underwear like hitting each other. Like it's absurd. The whole fucking thing is absurd.
Which is why it's always funny to me when you have people like being pissed off about like comedy wrestling or like getting like mad about Orange Cassidy's gimmick. Like, one, he's impressive. He can kip up without his hands. Like, don't tell me he's not athletic.
OC
but, like,
is
wrestling is ridiculous.
Is great. No, absolutely. Orange Cassidy is one of the greatest things out there because of how ridiculous he is.
Well, okay.
But that's the problem I have. I'm going to bring this back round again. To come round full circle, Cody Rhodes is going to want Cassidy to drop that gimmick because he's going to be more important than Cody Rhodes.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not going to say it on the air, but Orange Cassidy also wrestles at times under a different gimmick, and the guy is one of the best performers in the world. I hands down one of the best performers in the world, because the first time I was made aware of what his other gimmick was, I was blown away, absolutely blown away by the athleticism. I mean, he makes Ricochet look like a newbie. Like it's ridiculous.
Can he somersault over the top rope and walk up the ramp?
So if Cody says let's get rid of the OC gimmick, Cody's going to be in trouble because he's going to have someone that's going to make him look like a bitch in the ring. I mean,
to be fair, almost everyone makes him look like a bitch.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason his match with Darby Allin was good was because of Darby Allin.
Can I just say, Melissa, that's probably the biggest burn someone's dropped on the Blade job in 80 episodes.
Darby Allin absolutely gave that man his masculinity and his pride back, because if it wasn't for the fact that Darby Allin is willing to practically kill himself to put over a match, everyone would be talking about that match in a far worse way than we already.
Definitely. And also, think about it, Cody Rhodes never main evented Madison Square Garden, has he? Has he? No. Jay White has. I saw that live.
Why? I have one rule. The one rule is just fuck Jay White. That's the only rule. Is just get him off of my television. Get him out of this business. Make him go away. He can go hang out with Cody in the project somewhere, and like he can live under a bridge for all I care. Just go away, bag of dicks.
Do you think I triggered
You're a little passionate there, Ryan. You're right. Yeah.
Jay White is a bag of dicks.
I think we should talk about the G1 Climax final and how good of a match it actually was.
I have not watched anything from the G1 just because I literally do not have... If I watch one match, I'm going to watch the whole fucking thing, and I can't do it. I just can't do it right now.
I've never actually watched that promotion.
Wow. Seriously, guys, watch Shingo Takagi versus Tomohiro Ishii. What a match. It was damn near perfect.
Hopefully they'll just give us some rematches when New Japan Pro Wrestling invades Lowell, Massachusetts on September 27th.
It does take two to have a good match, though. So when you say you don't like Jay White and everything, like, I get that you don't. But the fact of the matter is that when he main evented that, he lost the championship in that match. My God, did he sell? My God, did he sell?
And I will never tell any professional wrestler that I know better than them, because I don't. You know, my wrestling career was about 7 months long, and I hurt myself repeatedly. And that's about as far as it went. And
the guys from SNL.
Huh?
I'm naming people that you could be better than.
Oh no, I'm sure, because I have a decent pain tolerance. Like if I stub my toe, I'll cry for a week, but if you hit me with barbed wire, I'll be fine. It's very weird. I don't understand how this operates.
Big Daddy
Honestly,
Big.
Same.
Yo, leave Viscera out of this.
You could have Pete Gas.
Rodney, Joey Abs,
Joey Abs was actually quite good.
Carmella. Lisa
Hey,
Fox.
that's the Princess of Spencer, Massachusetts.
Carmella, don't you disrespect Carmella, because she's actually a decent worker when she's allowed to be taken seriously. So I'm gonna need you to add a little bit of respect.
I'm gonna ask you a question, a serious question. I want you to give me a serious answer. When the last time she competed?
In general?
Last time she competed in general, other than this whole following our truth around as his valet.
Now, I will say she was on SmackDown a week ago, but that was it. Now, the first time she'd been on TV wrestling since WrestleMania's Battle Royal.
She's a casualty of what happens to WWE every couple of years. They have a bloated roster, they have too many people, and they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do with it. I hate to say it, they need to lay some people off. They have too many people.
That's why they granted Dolph Ziggler his contract release.
I don't think that's true. I think that's some fucking just internet reporting.
Ryan Satin bullshit.
Yeah, because people have been saying that he's leaving for 3 years.
I mean, if his contract wasn't released, then that's cool. But I feel like with the amount of people they have on the roster, these contract release rumors have a lot of legs to them, regardless of who's saying it.
And I agree with you, but usually they just do a Black Friday where they just say, hey, by the way, we've come to the terms of the release of A, B, C, D, and E. And they just, in one fell swoop, they just get rid of a bunch of people. And sometimes it's like, oh, wow, yeah, I can't believe that person's getting released. Sometimes it's like, well, obviously you haven't seen this person on TV, but like they also have a lot of people that they use outside of Raw and SmackDown. Like, you got to think, all of the house shows have all of your C and B players on them. You've got your main event and Superstars, which apparently still exist.
I'm going to ask you guys then, if it is too full, how about all of us right now, we name 3 people cut from the roster right now. 12 people cut from the roster.
How many? You're cutting in and out, so...
We're going to cut 12 people from the roster right now, 3 each. Let's do it right now. Bang.
What, are we like going round the table then, or just someone's back out right? I would cut the Revival.
So that one pick or 2?
That's one pick.
Okay.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
No, the reason why I would cut the Revival is because they're not being used properly. And I think they will be better suited in a different promotion. I don't think they kind of like the WWE style of wrestling right now. So, yeah, I'd cut the Revival.
Fair enough, Melissa.
For the sake of having a better broadening stroke for her career, I would cut Ember Moon and find her a better promoter.
I like that one.
Unfortunately, I agree. Michael Cole.
Ooh.
He's the most WWE character of all the WWE characters.
That's why I want him cut. Marrow instead.
I don't think Mauro will be main roster material ever again. I don't think he likes working under.
No, because JBL was a piece of shit.
Yeah, but JBL's nowhere near the company anymore. So
he was on SummerSlam.
Yeah, and also JBL is the on-screen character of Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
Literally that guy.
I don't want him anywhere near that. So, JBL will be my next pick if that's the case. But anyway, Michael Cole, because I cannot stand someone do their research properly, which is where Corey Graves is probably getting that from. Anyway, go on then, Ryan.
The Usos.
Bloody hell.
How dare you?
They are
this tag division.
No, they are their own worst enemies, because every time that they're building them into a storyline, they fuck it up. Because they're both alcoholics, like raging alcoholics, and like I think they need help, but at the same time, sometimes you gotta see a liability when you see a liability, and they are a liability.
I have nothing but mountains of sympathy for Naomi, because what they don't realize that they're doing is dragging her career down with.
Oh, absolutely. Especially because it took her so long to actually build up her talent, because she was a dancer, and a cheerleader. Like, she wasn't a professional wrestler. And it took her so long to learn the business. And when she finally gets the swing of it, this shit just happens over and over and over again.
Her husband and brother-in-law just can't unfuck themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I say Usos get rid of them, because there is a tag division there. It's just a tag division that they don't want to use, because they just want to use the same, 4 people over and over again.
Mags, your next pick.
Next, I would go with Tamina Snuka. For someone
I think everyone could agree with that.
With someone who's been with that company for so long, she may be the worst wrestler on that whole roster.
As I pointed out on the Matt Attack, when at the Elimination Chamber, when they actually had the women's tag titles up for grabs.
Guys, we are running out of time, so we got to do this quicker. Sorry, I'm just saying.
Okay, so women's tag team titles, that was their first ever title shot. Anyway, so I agree with that one. Melissa?
I would get rid of, I don't know if they count as 1 or 2, but Lana and Rusev.
Oh, yes. Thank God. Fuck them.
Lana is an insult to the women's section of wrestling. She really is.
She's got great tits, though, so they keep her around.
I don't care. I can pay for a good pair of tits, too. It doesn't make me WWE.
Okay, my next pick, John Cena.
He's already gone.
Yeah, he's pretty much out. I mean,
he's on the contract
now.
That's a horrible pick.
He's on the contract, and I think that he could do better doing some popping up on the indies.
He's a laugher. He's an absolute WWE laugher. He would not get anywhere near an indie show. Not a chance.
You won't.
No, absolutely not. He just needs to retire.
Ryan?
Ah, shit. I'm trying. I'm not looking at people who aren't used. I'm looking at people who are used poorly. I think I'm unfortunately I hate to say it, maybe not released, but maybe sent back. Ricochet. They're ever since he hit the main roster, they just don't know. Vince doesn't know how to use someone like him. Send him back to Triple H. Triple H knows how to use him.
I won't argue about one, actually, because he deserves much better than he's getting, definitely. Okay, yeah. Mags, your last pick.
Well, if you've ever listened to any content I've put out recently, this pick will definitely not be out of the blue. Get rid of the coke-sniffing, sweaty, shit punch-throwing asshole Shane motherfucking McMahon. I hate the guy.
It'll never happen. Keep dreaming.
I know, but...
Okay, Melissa, your last pick?
I would get rid of Lucha House Party, actually, because they're not doing anything with them. It's such a fun gimmick, and they're not doing dick with it. I'm torn between Lucha House Party and No Way Jose, because they're both so fun. They're such fun gimmicks, and those fun gimmicks have no place in WWE.
Fair enough. My last pick. If you've asked me this one maybe 6 months ago, I would have said R-Truth, but I'm doing my best things on TV now. Wait, both things are going. Drew McIntyre.
What?
We're waiting because what we do with him right now. We're making crush Cedric Alexander week in, week out. There's nothing. There's nothing there. He's been main eventing right now. He's not. He's in the mid card again. He's back to square one where he was. Basically, all he needs now is a guitar, and he is back in 3MB again. That's my opinion.
He's gonna be main event soon. They're building him up.
He should have been main event. He should have been main event already by now.
He's gonna win. He's gonna win King of the Ring, and he's gonna go on to.
He won't. It'll be Baron Corbin.
To be fair, they've been building him up for 3 years, and he's still in exactly the same position. He's in the Braun Strowman position where it was just at the top, just ready to make that push in. Not about.
So Ryan, your pick.
Mine's not hard. Lacey Evans. She never should have been there in the first place.
I actually feel sorry for her, especially after all this Becky storyline's come to an end. Where is she going to go now? Absolutely nowhere.
I don't feel sorry for her. She painted her daughter in blackface. I have no pity for the woman.
Not as the person. I mean, sorry for the character almost. I think it was brought up too early.
Yeah, get rid of her. Like, honestly, she was the main eventer in NXT that was still clearly developmental. You know, and they never should have brought her up to the main roster. And then what they could have done is used her as like a top tier valet and slowly built her into wrestling, like kind of like they did with like Naomi and even Lana, even though Lana was terrible, or Oksana, like build them into a wrestler. But
Carmella,
they just absolutely, you know, her character's not even interesting. Her in-ring is atrocious, and she should never have been in the position that she's in. And I don't necessarily blame her. I blame the whole lot of them, because that was just a bad decision.
You can't sit here and say you want a women's revolution and then allow a gimmick like Lacey Evans.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, Lacey Evans is 2 steps away from, like, washing Baron Corbin's fucking Applebee's vest and, you know, making him a ham sandwich while giving him a blowjob.
Yeah, like, and the problem is that I honestly cannot separate the woman from the gimmick, because I know too much about Lacey Evans as a human being, and as at knowing who she was as a person, as a Marine, and now as a wrestler, like, I just have no respect.
Yeah, fuck her. So we're
my Enzo.
We're gonna get to we gotta do the plugs real quick, but I do want to say honorable mention, Maurice. Just saying it right now. Get rid of her. No point.
Yes.
Anyways.
Yes.
My honourable mention, Alicia Fox. That girl needs to go.
She's a workhorse. She's been with the company for 10 years. She helps train backstage. I wouldn't get rid of Alicia Fox. But, Mags, pimp all your shit. I need you to pimp your shit. Pimp your shit.
Right. I have 3 podcasts. I have one called 5 Rounds, which is about UFC. I have Why We Watch, which I speak to guys like these about their wrestling fandom.
And
I
girls.
I also have one called, guys, the non-gender guys.
Guys and dolls.
You're nasty. And then I have Badlands, which is we discussed the Mount Rushmores of wrestling. But one thing I do also want to pimp, next weekend, next Saturday, Brainbuster are doing a charity stream for the American Society for Protection of Animals, an 8-hour stream, and I will be involved in that. So I'd be really happy if you could all go to Twitch and just basically give us a watch and basically a sub and stuff like that. Thank you for your consideration.
Yes, excellent. Matt Willis, pimp your shit.
You haven't got long enough to pimp it all, but if you go to at the Matt.uk, you can get all of my podcasts through that. I do 7 total now. I also want to pimp the fact. I also want to pimp the fact that Ryan will be on the Matt Attack for the next event, which is Clash of Champions. So
that's me.
You indeed.
Sure.
Well, was last year, so why not this year as well? And of course, breaking news, Melissa, you're coming on the Matt Attack. So
that's not breaking news. You invited me like 6 months ago.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you. Yeah, well, it's breaking news. You come on Hell in a Cell. So
square up.
Breaking news. The first woman to ever be on the Blade Job. Melissa, pimp your shit because people will be terrified.
I don't have shit. All I have is a Twitter that I absolutely shit post on. It is _witch. I post politics. I post Finn Balor thirst post. I post personal shit. Maybe see my kids. I don't know. That's where I am. That's my Twitter. I don't have a podcast. I pop up on podcasts uninvited. Yep, that's it.
Literally, that's what happened today.
Before we go, though, Melissa, I want to thank you very much for when you defended me a few months ago when that troll jumped on my post. Thank you, you rock girl.
Of course, I'm always willing to sit there and internet fight with people for almost no reason, or let alone for someone that I actually like.
As did Ryan and Mag. So thank you again, guys. I really appreciate you both for that as well.
Yes,
Absolutely.
and since maybe I get to do it, follow me on Twitter at The Blade Job Show. Stay tuned because we're actually doing more content. I swear this time because I'm doing it by myself, so there's no one who's going to say, hey, I'm going to do this, and then 6 months later they still haven't done it yet. So we are going to have some new stuff very soon. It's going to be a little different, and of course all of these wonderful people will hopefully be joining us in that.
Absolutely.
We have been fucking chaos. You have been wonderful. I love each and every one of you three specifically. You guys are fantastic, and you've made this a lot more fun than just me sitting here by myself talking to the wall, which it's a nice wall, but so do the thing. Make sure you go and follow all three of these people. You're gonna get great, wrestling content. Melissa, you're gonna get, some weird shit.
Shouted at.
But yeah, no, it's cool.
Shout at everyone.
She's gonna call you out on your bullshit. So if you ever need a reality check, just go there and she'll be like, stop being a dipshit. Nobody needs that.
Absolutely.
So thank you and good night because we are way over time.
Hashtag Ryan loves Cody.
Hashtag enjoy editing that.
Fuck Cody.
Are you tired of the same old pro wrestling? Then check out the amazing action on Powerslam.tv, the biggest indie pro wrestling channel in the world. Get over 4,000 hours of the best pro wrestling events from over 110 of the biggest names in the industry from over 15 countries around the globe. Get your free trial today at Powerslam.tv.